That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick. With a forceful grip, they force a misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature to mean extorted it. They forging it, if news anchors informants who informing them. There's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this reporting ships important. Yes, of course it is, but extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks we ignoring, which informing this, informing this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers actors say they high, say they simple pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real?
In a world where I accidentally set the stream for like 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. Actually, StreamYard just did that. They just changed the date with a bunch of psychopaths. But anyway, what's up, everyone? So I just came up with a name real fast for the stream, but it's You've Been Charged. So I don't know if anyone saw, we were at the NBA Finals last night, and it was interesting. I was having some issues with my mic. I think it's because it operates on 2.4 gigahertz, and when there's like thousands and thousands of people on their phone, it kind of messes up. And then, of course, we had the pentagram wearers come try to shut us down with a city ordinance. So kind of relevant just with the title, You've Been Charged, to show you something with the cop. So here's a section out of the stream after I went back up to the cops to talk to them about how they shut me down. Pretty funny, honestly. Let's check it out. I think it's so funny, dude.
Keep doing what you're doing and see what happens. So that's a threat. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Are you mad we didn't go to the moon, bro? Keep doing what you're doing and see what happens. So that's a threat. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Are you mad we didn't go to the moon, bro?
Anyway, so, yeah, I mean, inadvertently, they told me basically they would arrest me. First, they said they cite me. I'm like, oh, so you'll just write me a ticket? And he's like, no, they'll take you in and book you and all this stuff. And I was not trying to go to jail, but I think I may know a way around it for the next time. And we're going to see if we can do it. So anyway, since they won last night, Game 6 is guaranteed. It'll be back in Milwaukee. So right now we're in Chicago. We drove here today. We'll be in Chicago for at least a couple days. If you're in the area, you can hit me up. We'll chill. We're going to go do some activism outside. Hopefully the weather cooperates. We'll hit a few prominent places here. I'm using the Amazon hub to send some things here, and then we're going to go back to Milwaukee for Game 6. Now, if Milwaukee wins in Game 5 in Phoenix, then they can actually win the finals, the NBA championship in Milwaukee the day that we're there, and that would be pretty crazy. We got some shots on the GoPro of everyone celebrating. It was pretty hectic. So we're definitely going to go back, and I'm going to basically take what I learned from the first time and see how much I can get away with. So it should be interesting. Should be interesting. And we'll see how it goes. There you go. So you've been charged. Just a few things that I kind of think some people need to know that we're going to talk about, and then I'm just going to chop it up with the chat, and I'm going to get out of here. I saw someone see, do I have a lyric video for my song? I do not. Austin, you've been killing it, brother. Thank you, man. Much love. Shout out to Austin. Go give him a sub, man. Or be lame. But my man's killing it on the streams. Yeah, I said, are you mad that we didn't go to the moon, bro? And he said, oh. You can watch the stream for it in context. But also, I do know, guys, that the mic didn't sound that good. The Rode mic was too close to my mouth. So I'm going to have it moved lower. Blah, blah, blah. We got a cord mic now. So if the other one starts messing up, we'll pull that one out. And I think I know a little skirt around for their ordinance they're going to try to pull on me. Of course, they said, I was like, well, what about the drums? And he's like, oh, they have a permit. I'm like, they have a drum permit? And he's like, oh, no, the Bucks said it was okay. The Bucks don't make certain people immune to certain laws. That's not how that works. And I have them documented saying that. So I'm going to pull the mic out and flat smack them much more efficiently. Anyway, so you've been charged. So we're going to break down a bunch of stuff. I'm going to talk pretty fast, probably. It's going to sound a little technical maybe to some people that haven't heard some of this stuff, but it is what it is. And then I'm going to tie it into an overarching idea of how they've kind of manipulated us. So everything that exists is electric, right? Everything that exists is electrostatic. Everything. All molecular and intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature. All of them. All of them. All molecular and intermolecular forces, attractive forces, all of them are electrostatic in nature. So if all intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature, sounds like everything's going to be electrostatic. Huh? Can you name any matter that isn't electrostatic? Of course not. I've gotten really frustrated with flat earthers over the last year or two where they shut this conversation down, and it aggravates me because it makes no sense. I'm not interested in arguing with a flat earther about it. I don't really care. But it's one of the most lethal weapons against the globe Earth that exists. There are many, right? There are many. You don't need it to explain phenomena when it comes to refuting clear explanation, right? So they say that gravity is the reason things fall. And no, gravity is a theory. It's called the theory of relativity, of course. Einstein superseded Newtonian physics in 1915. But when you really get to the bottom of this, it's very interesting what happens. So that's what this channel's for people who want to know the truth, don't want to just sit here stagnant and just repeat the same arguments over and over. We know the Earth's not a magic spinning cartoon ball in a vacuum that defies physics. We falsify the radius. We see too far. It just couldn't happen. They lie all the time. This is just one of the many lies. It is one of the many truths that you should come to. It isn't everything, right? But it is a huge truth. And I think, in my opinion, the creators actually brought it back to light. And effectively, in the end times, they will be handed over to their delusions, for they no longer have a love of the truth. And the globe Earth seems to fit along with that pretty well, right? People are waking up to it, but I don't think we need to stay stagnant. Everything's electrostatic. You cannot name one piece of material, one piece of matter in the world that is not electrostatic. Not one. Not rubber, not glass. You can't name anything. Nothing. Okay. So if everything's electrostatic, that's a very crucial component to understanding the nature around you, right? Like, obviously, because everything's electrostatic. So people ask me, why do things fall down? And I tell them, why do helium balloons go up? Is a helium balloon gravity proof? Of course not. It's less dense than the surrounding air, than the medium it's in. It's density equilibrium, or people say relative density disequilibrium, is what causes the direction. Yeah, well, Density is a primary factor, right? We know this. We can manipulate the density of a medium, and we can actually change the direction of something. So we know this. I can take a beach ball, throw it up, it goes down because it's more dense in the air. That same beach ball at the bottom of a pool, if I let it go, it will go up. That is, of course, because it's less dense than the surrounding medium, which is the water. The water is more dense. So objectively, the manipulation of density, the relationship of the density of an object with the density of the medium will affect directionality. Okay? But everything in any scenario that you bring up, any demonstration that you do to do this, everything involved will also be electrostatic. That means the beach ball, the air, the water, it's all electrostatic. No matter what you do, everything's electrostatic. So as to be intellectually honest and accurate, you would say, well, what we know objectively is that relative density can cause directionality, can determine direction. And we also know electrostatics can determine direction. And both of these are always at play. How can you have density without electrostatics if all intermolecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature? That makes no sense. So this is where it gets pretty interesting, right? I'm going to just kind of breeze through this, and then I'm going to get into like what I would consider more of the gravy, right? All right, so back in the day, there's something called Coulomb's law, right? And gravity, quote unquote, has done nothing more than hijack this law about electrostatics. It hijacked it and then tried to spin gravity off of it. Literally, it hijacked Coulomb's law. Everything's intrinsically electrostatic. So electrostatics on the smallest scale is known to be 10 to the 39th power stronger than gravity even claims to be. That's 39 zeros. 10 to the 39th power stronger than gravity even claims to be. I know I got some Globers on the channel now. I would love, really, you should pay attention to this. On the smallest scale, electrostatics is known to be 10 to the 39th power stronger than gravity even claims to be, and it's always present. You cannot isolate it. You cannot control it. You could never, even in theory, isolate and find gravity if you cannot account for the much stronger force that's present. Now, gravity isn't real. It's just a theoretical concept to try to explain how the Earth can be a ball. Okay, and we know that, or at least people that have come to the realization about the nature of the Earth know that. But this is a death blow to the globe Earth. And once you really open your mind, you're honest about it, you will find out what happened. So electrostatics is something that's provable, replicatable, demonstratable, demonstrable, right? And so they take this demonstrable evidence and they've hijacked it and then tried to propose gravity. This is because they could not say that electrostatics was causing the supposed planetary movement of these bodies. They literally couldn't, because electrostatics is way too weak. That's correct. You heard that correctly. Electrostatics is way too weak to ever even postulate that it would be the mechanism that causes planets of giant masses to revolve around each other in this magical space medium that defies physics. Okay, so they could not use it. So what they have said is, well, gravity, you can't find it on the Earth because electrostatics is there. It's way stronger. We can't isolate it. We can't prove it. We have no scientific experiment for it on the local scale on the Earth. But it's scalar, meaning that as it gets bigger, as the mass gets bigger, it gets stronger. And so when it goes out into space and it's on this giant planetary scale, it is now the more powerful force that's at play, and it causes everything to revolve around each other and eventually coalesce into perfect spheres over billions of years. And we're going around the sun in the heliocentric model, blah, 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 blah. Of course, there's no evidence for it. You have to understand, there's literally no evidence for it on the local scale. You can't isolate it because electrostatics is always there and known to be 10 to the 39th power stronger than it even claims to be. But to even pretend that you're going to postulate the heliocentric model in this supposed universe that they told us about, they have got to say that there's something called gravity that is scalar and that on the big scale, it actually is now what's in play. And then they extend into, well, on the bigger scale, or on whenever there's things like a baseball, they're like, baseball's really still caused by gravity, but it's not. Electrostatics can determine directionality. This is what lightning is. This is what sprites are. Okay, these are naturally occurring phenomena. It's electrostatics going up or down, determining or based upon their electrostatics. You can take something called a Van de Graaff generator, and you can actually cause things to go up based on the electrostatic charge you introduce. If I take a balloon, rub it on my hair, stick it to the wall, that is electrostatics. Technically, it would be dielectrics. Now, they've taken the word dielectric and they've tainted it with misinterpretation, just like they did with magnetism. That's why talking to a glober is just so, it's practical. It's really just useless. It's very annoying because then you say, well, dielectrics, we'll say electrostatics, they spiral and they're trying to go use something they don't understand, some definition of dielectrics, and say how it's not electrostatics because they don't understand how this is all evolved. So long story short, everything's electrostatic. The Earth's electrostatic, and it's the biggest compilation matter that's accessible, of course, and it's electrostatic in nature. So it does stand to reason to say that this is what would set the initial bias of up and down. Now you have a plane Earth. There is just up and down. They're just objectively up and down. These are relative to one another, but on a plane Earth, there's just up and there's down. There is no like down relative to the center of mass. None of that. It's very simple. Up, down. Well, why? Because that's just intrinsically what is there above a surface of a flat Earth. Like, that's a stupid question, to be honest, in my opinion. But anyway, yeah, I do think there was an initial bias set. The initial bias set is by the thing that connects everything together. This Earth was created. Okay, the Creator, in all of His majesty, has built this place so beautifully. Everything's tied together, literally, with a commonality of electrostatics. Everything is tied together, right? So we have a container. There's something containing the air, the gas pressure that we breathe. There's something containing the Earth. It's a geocentric stationary plane. Geocentric meaning the center of everything, beautifully created, and we are all encompassed within electromagnetism. And this has a lot to do with the mechanism of the movement. And there's a background medium because you can't propagate through nothing. And it has a movement, it has a drift over top of the stationary Earth, and it's tied in perfectly and synchronized with the motion of the sky, right? Everything's electrostatic. So, of course, intrinsically, the up and down that is intrinsic with the nature of the Earth being a plane is electrostatic in nature. Because literally everything is. And we know it affects directionality. Things seek equilibrium. Based on their charge, they will literally seek equilibrium, and this will determine directionality. Now, globe earthers can do nothing with this. Like I said, this is actually a death blow to the globe. It's a death blow, right? Because they'll bring up stuff like Cavendish, when Cavendish was no way, in any way, trying to figure out or prove mass attracting mass. He was trying to determine the density of the Earth, as preposterous as that is. But even on this stupid little futile pursuit destined to oblivion that he was on, he still wasn't so stupid that he acted like this could actually prove mass attracting mass. Now, we have globe earth zealots so desperate in 2021, they will bring this up. Now, I would say, honestly, don't waste your time with people like that. I go into a certain server and I talk to some of them. Some of them have credentials. I think it's interesting to hear like how far people will go and what's the best, literally the best that side has. You won't get the best they have in the trenches listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson because they know the mainstream media only has to cover, surface level misrepresentations because the average person is nowhere into the depths of the conversation about the Earth. Okay, so if you really wanted to get to it, you would talk to people that debate all the time, and I guess I just find it kind of entertaining. If I'm going to kill time, I go in there, but I would not suggest this because it doesn't really matter. We should just kind of ignore them, use them as a demonstration of what's wrong with that state of mind for other people, for the audience, and we should figure everything out together. And everything's intrinsically electrostatic. Bumblebees are not aerodynamic, right? Physically, they're not aerodynamic. They shouldn't be able to fly, but they have such a powerful resonance that they're able to fly, and not only fly, but fly incredibly efficiently. They can fly right through crosswinds up to 60 miles per hour. A bumblebee can go right through it. It's effectively like a little UFO that has a resonance shield, a vibrational pattern of resonance that just basically protects it, cuts through anything. It's an aura of vibration, effectively. And they can just go right through these crosswinds unaffected, even though they're not aerodynamic. Beetles do the same thing. Spider ballooning uses the same mechanism. We have sprites. We have lightning. These are naturally occurring phenomenon. So to ignore it is just preposterous. Okay. So with all that out of the way, I think that Flat Earth doesn't use it enough, right? I'm like, yeah, it's based on the density, and everything is intrinsically electrostatic, which determines directionality as well, because based on charge, things always find their equilibrium. That's what everything comes down to. Everything's trying to find a state of equilibrium. Pressure mediation. Pressure is mediating. Everything comes down to pressure mediation. Everything. And finding its equilibrium, right? And so you go, like, whenever you take the balloon, you rub it on your hair, it's electrostatic. You stick it to the wall, it sticks to the wall. with the electrostatic charge, it starts to lose its charge. It falls back down to the electrostatic earth. If I drop the phone's electrostatic. If it falls down to the earth, it's electrostatic. So that means that downward acceleration is 100% objectively electrostatic in nature. There is no other way. To pretend that it has nothing to do with the phenomena is preposterous, and that goes for both sides of the argument. And this is why it's been frustrating for me. So now we got this all out of the way. The elite know this. The quote-unquote elite, the elites, they know that everything is electric. And that this is what connects everything and ties everything together. They know that there's a beautiful cycle to the sky that moves over top of us, and it works in tangent with this natural movement within the background medium where everything is electrostatic, electromagnetic in nature. Everything is. Electrostatics is part of electromagnetism, right? It's a part of electromagnetism. And not to get too specific, but again, electrostatics, dielectric, tomato, tomato. So you have dielectricity, and then you have magnetism. And these together in a hybrid of coherency, moving together in the same direction coherently, is electricity. You do not have one without the other. They're two sides to the same coin. You don't have electrostatics without magnetism or magnetism without electrostatics. Magnetism is the dielectric field. Okay, and you can look at them as basically a balancing antithesis. So anyway, I know I try not to get too technical. I try to keep it kind of where we can all follow what I'm saying. But hopefully that kind of makes sense. So now here's the point, right? So you've been charged. Now that's what they say whenever you get arrested, right? You get charged with something, right? And now they know everything's electrostatic. So electric in nature, we'll say. We have an aura, right? They tell you that your heart pumps blood. It's a magnet. It's actually a magnet, and it circulates blood within this magnetic field, and you have a literal aura. So when people say, I feel your aura, you have an aura, that's just not some new age woo-woo thing. It's literal. You have a magnetic aura, electromagnetic aura, literally. And this is why they have told you to stay 6 feet apart from each other, because it seems like that's roughly the aura of the average person. And if you get together, of course, we know what magnetic fields they will compound and build off of one another, right? And so it would strengthen your electromagnetic aura to be around people, as well as when you have a connection with human interaction. So say that you are talking to some female or vice versa, or you're in love or whatever it is, you'll feel like these sparks. They're not called sparks for no reason. Literally, there are sparks of electricity, effectively. Like electrostatics in nature, right? Electric in nature. When you have that spark between someone, literally that's what it is. It's everything is electric. Everything. Now they know this, and so they've manipulated it. Okay. And so when they send these frequencies out to through your television to brainwash you, they are affecting your charge, right? I just wanted to be witty with the title. You've been charged. More so, they're messing with your charge. They're messing with your natural state, right? They're sending these frequencies out, attacking you. They're putting out these towers everywhere, increasing the frequencies all around you that you're drowning in, increasing the radiation, and it's affecting your natural electromagnetic aura. This is meticulously crafted to attack you, because the elite, the elites, they know all about this, bro. They know about everything's electrostatic. I mean, it even goes back thousands of years. Like the Hermetic principle, everything is vibration. Yeah, everything's vibration and frequency. You got vibration, frequency, energy. What's the difference? Tesla even said it, right? If you want to understand everything in the universe, then it comes down to energy, frequency, and vibration, but not as if they are different things, right? They coincide, right? You cannot have one without the other, right? So frequency, just an aspect of vibration, and this is how you get energy. Okay, so whenever we have these phrases, and they get us to use these phrases, but we don't know why we're saying them, right? So it's like, yeah, I had a spark. You literally had a spark, right? It's like, I can feel his energy, literal energy. We're talking about literal energy. So whenever you use these in your everyday conversations, you've basically acknowledged the reality of what's around you, but you haven't fully comprehended it. It doesn't matter. Via natural law, they have made sure that society uses certain terms, and when you don't get it, you don't get it. Now, this has everything to do with water as well, right? Because electricity, energy, it's all about flow. Just like that's why I explained all the electrostatics to you, and how when things fall and the natural bias, all of that, right? Because everything's about flow to equilibrium, pressure mediation, the flow to the pressure being mediated, or the pressure mediation within the flow. That's what water is. And that's why they named everything regarding money to do with water, right? Like currency, like a current. It goes on and on with water. I mean, with money, like streams of income. It doesn't end, because the love of money is the root of all evil, right? And so this is intrinsically tied to your electric aura, your materialistic like wants. Like if you're obsessed with money, and I've done a stream that I've got a lot of good feedback on about money. Money's just a cycle. It's like a revolving door, right? And if you cannot have the money and understand that it's like that, and put the money towards what's right, if you start getting like a grabbler, you want to keep all your money, it's very bad for you. It's very bad for your spirit, i.e. your electromagnetic aura. Everything is tied in. You're electric in nature, your spirit is as well, right? And so as you start to get obsessed with the material, the physical material world that's outside of this, this energy that's in the Hashamayim, the unseen existences, what people call the ether, right? You get obsessed with the material or fleshly desire. You are actually removing the power, the literal power from your spirit, which is electromagnetic. Okay. Now they know all of this, and they are trying to engineer us so that we lose this power, because it's very powerful, right? Wait, let me switch the charger so the iPad doesn't die, which is what's giving us data, or the stream's going down. Oh, I think we're good. We saved it. Don't worry, guys. So yeah, and you guys can look into every single aspect of money. It's all about water, because flow, water, electricity, what's really the difference, right? And then I've also done another stream. It's called like Becoming Water, where I talk about how important water is, and it clearly seems to be sentient. And it has to do with basically everything. So everything's to do with the flow. Just watch a stream, right? And so you see how the stream, you feel like peace whenever you see a stream. You feel peaceful. Well, that's like what your energy exchange is supposed to be. You're supposed to have that natural flow, just always finding equilibrium perpetually, right? So they want to effectively build a dam, if you're following the analogy, so that you don't have connection to that literal power that you have. The literal power. And that's why I think that our current use of electricity is a huge deception. It's a huge deception, not just from the perspective of they give us utility bills and there's loss. They told you that there's no such thing as attaining electricity without loss or with zero loss, and which is clearly a lie. No, I think it's deeper than that. I think that that's a huge rabbit hole. It's a huge deception, our current use of electricity and the manipulation of it. And what really is it? Where does it really come from? Once you start to find out that your spirit is electric in nature, and so is everyone else's that has ever existed, where are you harnessing this energy from? It gets interesting, and because you're not doing it efficiently or with proper intention. And so if they can create us, simply, if they can create this world, which they successfully have, where everyone's obsessed with the material, the perceivable material world, things that you gain in the material world, materialistic wants and needs, fleshly desire, the stupid flesh that you have, right? If they can get engineer society, which they have, to be solely obsessed with the material, the matter, then their electric spiritual power will lessen. And that's the entire thing. And that's why the TV is the #1 weapon ever created in modern history. Way more deadly than even the GMOs, than the chemtrails, way more deadly than any weapons or guns or bombs, anything like that, or missiles, right? The TV, because it is literally sending out frequencies, right? It's like remote viewing. You have a remote, right? Like the remote control. They are controlling you remotely, literally. Right? So if you have a certain type of current, if you can penetrate that with a frequency and override it or throw off the frequencies, you can guide the new flow or lack thereof, if you're following me. This is literally what's going on, guys. Like, this isn't some woo-woo thing, but the fact that a lot of people have been engineered to immediately think that what I'm saying is woo-woo is why it works. It's why it works, and it's pretty brilliantly done. So, like, you've been charged and or discharged according to what they want you to do. And that is why you watch people, if you watch my last stream that I did, but not the activism, but the stream before that, when I was telling you guys that people are under spells cast everywhere, right? Well, you can't reach them because they're literally in a spell state. Literally, they have corroded their natural frequency and vibration. Now, this is where I can't get too specific. We all know it will jeopardize the channel, but when you look at what they're doing right now, and we have a bunch of people that are genetically modified, etc., and then you look at what you can do with nanoparticles and certain EMPs, right? Electromagnetic pulses. It gets very interesting. It's going to be taken to the next level. So they've given us fluoride, which, of course, is literally in rat poison. It calcifies your pineal gland. It's obviously carcinogenic and poisonous and toxic and terrible for you and makes you docile. This lowers your frequency. It lowers your vibration. Whenever you're constantly watching depravity on your phone, you're watching all this on TikTok, you're just scrolling, a very rapid consumption of depravity. But it's like in a it's insane. Because wisdom and discernment are tied in with the proper flow of the energy that's within you spiritually. Your electric energy, which is redundant, right? Like, so if they can pull you out of that state of wisdom or discernment, a natural spiritual flow, then it starts to weaken. Now, if they got everyone weak, which they clearly do, then it's much easier to control you. So you're staring at this all day, just like losing all of your power, literally losing your power, losing your literal power. Okay. Then you watch the TV, and these people watch the TV all day, every day, certainly every morning. As soon as they wake up, after they have been recharged, the body recharges itself when you sleep, like a battery. And then they wake up, and immediately they have their battery drained. That's why they've engineered the society to where that people think the normal thing to do is to wake up, to fix your cup of coffee, which is probably another grabbler trick, let's be honest. Then you go over there, because I can drink a cup of coffee and go to sleep. It's wild. So, but anyway, so you wake up, you've been told to wake up, fix your cup of coffee, maybe some breakfast, and then go watch the news. What people, the younger generations do, they wake up, immediately stare at their phone, and I'm guilty of that as well, especially like on the road with all this stuff. I get up, I'm trying to look at my emails, trying to look at my messages, keep up with the comments or my videos or what I got going on. It's like immediately, right? And they've engineered it this way. But the news has got to be the worst thing you can possibly do when you wake up. You wake up and you watch the mainstream news. So the CIA has literally looked into MK Ultra, right? We all know this is declassified. MK Ultra, how to brainwash you. And one of their main focuses in MK Ultra was the manipulation of frequencies to brainwash you, literally. Apple juice, man. You just can't beat it. So you wake up in the morning after your body has literally recharged itself, recharged your battery. You wake up and you have your battery drained by frequencies meticulously engineered by the CIA, who are just like small little puppets, right, for the bigger scheme of things, to lower your frequency. When people were talking about politics a lot, have you ever noticed that they stay right around this like little middle ground of vibration there? They're never peaking. You never feel their energy and it's like contagious, or there's like what people would call positivity, negativity. These terms are all very specific for a reason. All right. You don't feel their positivity. They just stay at this plateaued wavelength, which waves aren't things and don't have lengths. Waves is a type of movement. It's just transverse movement. It's just a type of movement in a medium. A wave is nothing. It's just the medium and how that medium is moving. But anyway, you guys know what I'm saying when I say wavelength, right? And so they've kept everyone down here while they're arguing about stuff like Trump and Biden and Kamala Harris and gas prices and China and how deadly is the air, all this nonsense. But they've kept it where the script keeps you at a certain frequency. So very, very simply, right? They know that if we had human interaction, that we gathered together, basically like everything that the Father told us to do, we'd be incredibly powerful and they would not be able to stop us. If we applied the Torah, the instructions to our lives, our energy, our flow, Why is this bugging here? Bro, chill, bro. I can't like be mean to him. Anyway, they know that our collective energy would increase, right? And so they can't afford that. So they've kept us divided, conquered and divide, and they keep hitting us with frequencies. Like, look up the symptoms for radiation sickness, then look up the symptoms for any typical illness that you get. The reoccurring illness people get every year. Look up the symptoms of radiation sickness and see how common they are. Look up the fact they implemented radios around early 1900s, right? The same time around the Spanish flu. So what they're doing is they're rolling out all of these different frequencies and they're hitting you, and they're not natural frequencies. And honestly, you look at like the resonance of the earth, are they trying to manipulate it? Right? Like you could manipulate, in theory, you could manipulate the resonance of the earth, the resonance of the people on the earth, and the resonance of the environment that they're within over top of the earth. And it could have drastic effects. And that's what I think they are currently building an infrastructure to do. And you will actually see zombies, actually see something like the Matrix, where people are just like literally the lowest vibration you can have without dying. This is why the Sabbath is so important. Shabbat is so important, because we are literally batteries, and once a week, our battery needs to fully recharge. It's kind of like throughout the week, you plug your phone in at night. Well, like when you get plugged in at night, you charge up most of the way. But it's like once you get to the weekend, your phone needs to charge all day, right? Like it's like you have an Android. So that's what Shabbat is all about. It's about like recharging your battery. And this is because everything is tied in, not only scientifically, like electrostatics is literally within everything that exists, but like everything is tied in. The earth is a battery. The land has to rest as well. The land has to recharge its battery. The earth itself has to recharge, right? And that's why you're supposed to let the land rest. And then like every 7 years, you let the land rest, because everything is tied together. And so they're throwing off the natural balance of everything, and on purpose, because if you live in harmony with the frequency of the earth, you're incredibly powerful. And so people are like, oh man, I want to eat my bacon. I don't want to listen to the Torah. I want to eat my bacon. Like, okay, that's a cool story, bro. But the instructions are there to make you very powerful. And that is why they hate it, because they know they cannot control you if you follow them. It's that simple. So in conclusion, they've set everything up and start to re-examine. Dude, this dude is just really trying to chill with the stream. I guess he's trying to suck up the gravy. I can't be too mad at him. Right. WitsitGetsIt for sure. Thank you for the super chat. Bright Tie Bear. I saw another couple. You look like the Burt's Bees wax guy. That's what's up, bro. Thanks for the super chat, Brian. Saw another one. Let me just read them out while I'm seeing them. Eric Billig. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Much love, bro. I think we got them all. All right, cool. So yeah, anyway, like this is an attack on your natural frequency and ability to have an electromagnetic aura that makes you more powerful, more wise, have more discernment, quicker, maybe more quick-witted, quick on your feet, more of a threat to evil. This is why they tried to build up their frequency, their vibrational patterns, their resonance in all kinds of different ways. So this is important too to understand. This is why they have to do crazy things. Because they do not get the natural. We have such an advantage. If you're a believer, you've humbled yourself to get right with the Father. You don't try to over-intellectualize every single aspect of the modern English KJV or ESV or whatever. And you just humble yourself and you look for the truth, and he starts to reveal things to you. Find out the scriptures are very true. And they've messed with them more than anything else in the world, by like calling it the Bible and changing the main character's name and birthday and everything else, and the year he died to 33 when he clearly didn't, right? They know you have 33 vertebrae. Then in the center, a compass uses 32 degrees. The center would be the 33rd degree. They're hiding it. And it's all about electromagnetism everything is, right? So you have the two pillars, and then together, using those type of magnets, you would have effectively like a pillar that goes all the way up. The pillar in the middle would be invisible to the naked eye, but it would be what extends higher and lower, much longer than the other two. That's what the towers represent. 33 is a big number to these people, and you do have 33 vertebrae. And so whenever you see the snake going around, like in Hermes for the sign of medicine, that's where it comes from, and it represents your vertebrae. They know everything's about energy and electromagnetism. And so they have to do crazy things because we have a huge advantage as believers. If you humble yourself, you apply the instructions, you realize that it's not about materialistic things. The love of money is the root of all evil. You're supposed to put other people in front of you, right, before yourself. You're supposed to love your enemy. You're supposed to forgive people. You're supposed to constantly try to help people. And that tithing is actually helping out the widows and the orphans. And we start to live like this, and you apply it to your life, and I would guarantee you pork just absolutely decimates your frequency, your natural vibration you're supposed to have, your actual literal power. I guarantee you pork is terrible for it. But anyway, whenever you start to apply these instructions via humility, you become super powerful. And then he tells us to get together, right? And if we get together, even if we're like virtually we're connected here, but it's nothing like in person, I can guarantee you, right? But as you gather together and you have human interaction, these literal physical electromagnetic auras start to compound, this spiritual resonance starts to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And we don't have to know any crazy secrets to make this happen. The way the creator made everything, the natural balance is that it will build this power, this energy, this electricity, if you will, right? This electromagnetic vibrational power that you have just by the natural order of things, because he designed you. Like, they can't explain how the eyes work, guys. Science can't explain how the eyes work yet. We're some of the most intricately designed things ever. Like, we are the most intricately designed thing that exists, that we know about, at least, right? On an organism scale, we are the most intricate thing that exists. They cannot explain your eyes. Your heart is a magnet that circulates blood, right? And so you live within a gigantic battery. And that's how the Earth clearly is. You have a magnetic field. The Earth's a dielectric plane, just like the U.S. military assumes whenever they build ground weapon systems, they assume the Earth to be a dielectric plane. That's what it is. Okay, you know how the globe Earth can't explain the magnetic field, and I'm talking about Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, you name it. I've read all of them. They cannot in any way explain the magnetic field. They cannot explain how it works within the core, although they claim the core is in fact the source. They can't figure it out. And they show that the magnetic field, it has characteristics and perfect tendencies of what a permanent magnetic field is, but they cannot say that it's a permanent magnetic field because it can't be if the Earth's this magic spinning cartoon ball based on all these presupposed ideas of what's in the center. It can't be a permanent magnetic field because of the Curry point and numerous other problems. It's just a huge rabbit hole. They cannot explain the magnetic field. And so they say, well, it looks like a permanent magnetic field, but we know it's changing. You just wouldn't notice the change until billions of years, and we just in a small little portion, so it's going to look like it's a permanent magnetic field, so they can try to explain it away, blah, blah, blah. Very simply, flat Earth can very easily explain the magnetic field, and if you look at the magnetic flux over top of the Earth, it's very obvious that that is clearly what we're living within. It's perfect, as are the wind patterns and everything else, and even the ocean laid out on the flat Earth. You can go to bobwinds.com, bobwinds.com. I'll show you in a second. Right? And so we are the dielectric plane, the electromagnetic field, the giant battery, everything that exists, all the other organisms, us and everything. We live within this, and it can compound. And if we were to follow the Father and we humble ourselves and we apply the instructions and we get with other believers and we continue to strengthen our resonance within this overall resonance, the Earth provably has resonance within this battery, and we're a battery. We're tons of batteries within the battery, and all the batteries can effectively connect together within the bigger battery. We're very, very powerful. That's why we have domain on the Earth, right? And they're taking that away from you. Now, that's what we have to do to get our power, because the Creator made it like that. It's right there for you to have. And just occasionally let it recharge, man. Just let it recharge and keep on living by the instructions. You'll have tons of literal power. Now, they don't do that. They adhere to the natural law alone. Now, the natural law is a natural balance that is really in existence within nature itself, right? Very clearly. There's just so much evidence for it. It's insane. They don't adhere to the metaphysical law, though, right? So this is why they have to do all these creepy practices. You can look into their occultic sex magic practices. They're very dark and morbid. I don't even like to talk about them, but They promote pedophilia under a certain age because of the innocence and the natural resonance and vibration that you're tainting and taking away from them. So the way that they build their energy is to take it from everyone else. Whenever they cast spells onto everybody and they hit you with all these frequencies from the television and they start to, remove your frequency, they're trying to take everyone else's energy and frequency and vibration away from them. Right? They're trying to take everyone else's resonance so they can build their own. That's the only way they have to build their resonance, is to take from others, because they will not humble themselves before the Father. They will not live for him. They love the material, the matter. So they want to be able to get the best of both worlds, right? If you're following what I'm saying. The material, the matter, is nothing but a detriment to your spiritual electromagnetic resonance. You have matter and then the unseen resonance and energy of everything, right? The matter, the love of the matter and material things is nothing but a detriment to this. They want the material things and the spiritual power. Material power, spiritual power, right? And so the only way that they can do this is to be very malevolent and manipulative and subversive and to get materialistic gain that way, right? And then they get the spiritual power by taking from other people, by misleading them, misguiding them so that they can have access to their resonance, to their power, right? To their charge. And there you go. And if they keep everyone else at a lower charge, they don't need quite as much to overpower you. So yeah, power corrupts, right? But like it's the longing for literal power. Literal. It's a metaphysical game we're playing. Okay? It is longing for literal power that they want. And so they have to get both ways. And so they've come up with all kinds of crazy practices, crazy psychopathic rituals. This is why they do the rituals. Everything they do is very calculated, is for a reason. Then you got Luciferianism, the idea of enlightenment, right? Well, how do you get light? What is light? That's a totally different show, right? That's a huge rabbit hole, but it's pretty obvious. Light is nothing more than us perceiving the Hashamayim, the unseen existences. We're seeing part of the background medium that's already there. That's why they can't explain light. They're trying to explain this idea of something traveling from point A to point B, presupposing a speed, which there is in no way a speed, and all they have is like a two-way speed. But they want to claim that they know the speed, and they assume a vacuum, and then they just attribute this to light, acting as if they know what it is. Hashamayim, unseen existences, what people call the ether, whatever, a background medium. It has to be there. Okay, the world cannot exist without it. Literally cannot. Okay, just like Tesla said, to ever try to explain anything that goes on, any phenomena, without the acknowledgement of the background medium or the ether is a futile pursuit destined to oblivion. He's very, very correct. Tesla's not just some standalone genius because of this. First of all, it's very common sense. Something can't propagate through nothing, and everyone forever has known this, right? So anyway, light is nothing more than that background medium being excited, and then us seeing part of it. It's already there. You introduce energy into the surrounding. It excites that medium, and that medium illuminates based on the new vibrational pattern that is a result of the excitation. And so what people call the speed of light is nothing more than the illumination rate. That's all around you. So what is light, right? Because it's all around you, and whenever excited in a certain vibrational range, it's perceivable. It's illuminated. Well, what is your spirit? We're light. We have light within us, right? Well, light is a certain vibrational pattern or excitation of the background medium that we are also made up of. Hashamayim, the creator is within everything, all unseen existences. We are made in the image of the creator. Our spirit is part of what is all around. We are in the lowest level of heaven, Hashamayim, right? And then it continues to go up. And of course, as it goes up, hyperlogically, it would necessitate that so does the power output, right? And that obviously makes a ton of sense when you look at Polaris. What is Polaris? Everything centers Polaris. It's directly over the center where all the power output would increase, right? And so we are what's around us, inside of us, and at a certain vibrational pattern, there's the light. Well, it says in the end that the light will no longer shine within them. They're going to get you to such a low vibrational pattern, to such a low resonance, that your light will no longer shine, to where it effectively is put out. And now you sit there at this certain vibrational pattern to where effectively they're going to try to weed the vibration out altogether. And you have such a low frequency, such a low vibrational pattern or resonance, the light no longer shines within you. And they may do this with literal physical intervention, which is why I do plan on going to Rockfin. I can't get too specific, and I can't ladle the gravy all the way like it should be, and it's very frustrating. But they made use some type of physical mechanism intervention to actually help to remove this light, right? And you can look at the different technologies that are going to try to track it. It's all about tracking the vibration, the electromagnetic charge that you have. Okay, so hopefully I'll put some pieces together for you. Start to look at some of the words that you're using and realize why they're there. Are you being negative or positive? Negativity, positivity, you get charged with crimes when they try to take away your freedom. We're going to talk about your vibrational pattern going down, get locked up in a box with no windows for a few days, right? Charged. Yeah, they're going to charge you. They're going to discharge you, though, right? So all these words are right in front of us, and they got us obsessed with this materialistic confinement of this worldly system of money, and that is the material, which is a detriment to the spiritual, to the charge you have, the resonance that you have, the metaphysical being that you're made up in. So I know it's getting a bit redundant. I wanted to put it a bunch of different ways, so maybe you guys could figure out where I'm going with this, but it's very crazy, you know. The Most High is at the top of the layers of the firmament, the heavens of heaven, as Deuteronomy calls it, and he is the most powerful also. Oh yeah, shout out to Kingdom of Context, absolute legend. So basically what I want you guys to realize is that there is a physicality to this. It's not, I know a lot of people that aren't right with the Father, or they haven't realized that the scriptures are true, but they have a love for the truth that seems right, and they're on their way or whatever. I want you to realize that this isn't just some like Bible thumping woo-woo thing or whatever. It's very real, and there's a physical aspect to it. And some of these people, I'm not impressed with them. Like when they call themselves elite, I'm not particularly impressed with them. I don't even think they're that smart, to be honest. They just know some of the information they kept from you. These are very basic truths. I talked about this in Spells Cast Everywhere stream. Like these truths are just here. They're hyper logical, just basic objective truths of the world, of existence, of how everyone has always known how existence works, but they have recently, at least for sure, removed this from us, right? And by removing it, knowledge is power. It's much more powerful when you're the only one with it. And so they just have very powerful pieces of knowledge, tools of knowledge that they've removed from you. And so it gives them this like some superficial version of intellectual superiority, we'll call it, right? When in fact, I think they're dumb. And they're trying to get their cake and eat it too. And so they get their materialistic and the spiritual. And the only way that you can do that is through subversive gains. Like it is not that you could be, it's not that money's bad. Like you could be a billionaire. In my opinion, it's not bad in any way. But you shouldn't be a billionaire for long, because you should do what's right with the money. If you're providing for everybody that you possibly could, then money's not bad. It is a love of money. And if you are obsessed with the material, so even what things look like, what you look like, obsessed with the aesthetics of the material world, and that's not talking about having gratitude for nature. That's being obsessed with the matter itself, the material world, placing that into such a high extent that you remove the importance of the spiritual world. It's corroding your literal energy. It's literally corroding you. And so this is why he made us a certain way. He wants us to work, and we're circulating a flow. We're building all of this energy, right? And then he wants us to rest. And then on Shabbat, he wants us to really rest, and our battery fully charges, just like we need to let the land rest, because the earth is electromagnetic. It's electric in nature as well. And this is this perfect cycle of energy, vibration, resonance, and frequency that he created, right? And they're tainting it. They're tainting it, and they're hitting you. And that's why they told people, wake up as soon as you've been recharged. Wake up. We're going to drain your battery by spamming you with frequencies of negativity from the news. And it's such a meticulous avenue, so many meticulous avenues of deception we're getting hit at from all angles. To think that it is merely men that have come up with this is preposterous. There is a metaphysical driving factor to this. So there you go. That's basically all I wanted to cover. Don't let people like affect you like that. The Father will give you so much power, literal power, and that's what he wants to do. That's how he designed us, and the world has been engineered to try to take that from you, literally. And then they got us using the words right in plain sight, so you don't know, because you're acknowledging the reality of what I just broke down to you. But with whether or not you fully consciously grasp it doesn't matter. You subconsciously grasp it, and you are now consciously speaking it. And there's power in the tongue, right? And the people that believe in it will eat of its fruit. Well, they believe in it, and they're utilizing the power in your tongue, right? And so when you say, there was a spark, do you feel a spark? It's called that for a reason. You're being negative, you're being positive. Like, it's called that for a reason. All these words we're using, and then we're like, oh, currency, a stream of income. Like, all of this was meticulously crafted. Terminology is very powerful. Words are very powerful, and I talked about this quite a bit with the spells cast everywhere. So look into the words you use. Just the most important thing is your intentions, right? So like, are your intentions really pure? People are like, they overcomplicate it. The father's relationship with the father. Like, what about this? What about that? The answer for all of it is, what is the truth, bro? If you pulled away every layer of what you show other people or these guards you put up, if you pulled it all away with your purest intention, what you mean when you're being deceptive for any purpose, trying to deceive people to get what you want, all of that is pulled away. And what it really is, that's what the Creator sees. Always see it through that lens and try to humble yourself and grow and get close to the Father, understanding He sees everything. It's not complicated. Men have overcomplicated it, right? So there you go. That's pretty much the summary of the stream. I want you guys to really think about that, because I think it's a big deal. I think we're going to see something in the near future roll out that is physically engineered to attack your literal frequency, your literal charge, and just watch out. Nanoparticles can be affected by EMPs drastically, and the light will no longer shine within them. And what is light? Once again, just in conclusion, because I think this is probably one of the biggest pieces of gravity or gravy within this, right? Gravity's fake. Light, the way that I see it, occurring to my simple mind, light is nothing more than the excitation of the background medium that is already there. Hashamayim, the unseen existences. We live within the lowest on the earth, right? And it continues to go up above us. Hashamayim, unseen existences, people call it the ether. It's all around us. Light is nothing more than that being excited, right? And once it's excited to a certain vibration, it becomes perceivable. We don't know much about the eyes. What we do know is how we see things is based on vibration. We perceive a certain spectrum of vibration, right? Now you can use infrared and night goggles, and you can look into different spectrums, extend your spectrum of vibration to see different things, right? Just like a ferrocell, right? The ferrocell is helping you to have a perceivable spectrum of vibration to see a magnetic field, for example, right? So everything is about vibration. So light is the background being excited into a certain vibrational pattern that is now perceivable to the naked eye. It is what's all around you, beyond the material perceivable world, is now becoming perceivable because of the energy introduced. It excites the medium. It makes it illuminate. What people call the speed of light is nothing more than the illumination rate of what was already there. And that's why they can't explain the non-locality of light, assuming it's a photon traveling from point A to point B. They'll never be able to explain the non-locality of light. Light's pretty clearly instant. It's because it's already there. If something's already sitting here, but all of a sudden you can see it, did it travel to get there? No, it was already there. You just saw it, right? It just became perceivable. Anyway, all that to say that everything around us, right? The Creator is within everything that around us. The Hashamayim, the spiritual realm, the existence, right? That is, we are a piece of it in a way, right? Like, that is within us. We are made in the image of the Creator, right? And we have light at a certain vibrational pattern based on our spirit. There's light that would be a result scientifically, okay? And so since there is light within us based on that certain vibration, if they can lower that vibration, the light would no longer shine within you. And that's literally what we're told will happen in the end. The light will no longer shine within them. And by the way, they have tons of technology where they, and most you truthers know this, and I can't really get into specifics, they're going to track the light, and for the sole purpose of tracking it so that they can try to make sure they dwindle it down to where it goes out. That's why they're tracking it. They want it to go away. So they're going to track the light, and the light will no longer shine within them. So don't let them affect your vibrational pattern so much so that the light no longer shines within you. What that means is you don't sell out to the beast system. You don't live for Babylon. You humble yourself. You live for the Father. You follow the instructions. You get together with one another. You fellowship, right? You have human interaction. You show love, and you put other people before you. You help the less fortunate, and your vibrational pattern continues to build. You rest on Shabbat to recharge your battery effectively, and your vibrational pattern will be amazing, something they can never touch, right? And let's just say that the ones that are in the know about a lot of these truths that I'm dropping to you, they know they can't mess with you when you're right with the Father. You know why? Because you have way too bright of an aura. They can't mess with you. And so they know the most efficient way to attain this enlightenment is actually the proper way via the Father. But they want to get all the materialistic things and live in depravity and have no morality they have to hold to, manipulate people, get tons of wealth, etc., while also having the spiritual power. So they have all these creepy little spiritual practices, and it always relies on them feeding off the innocence, feeding off of other people, taking their resonance, taking their vibration, and trying to build it within, give you to basically concede yours and then manipulate your lower, weaker, easier to manipulate vibrations collectively so that they can have the power themselves. And of course, it is literal power. And this is why the consumption of gold, this is a whole other stream of a lot of gravy. When you look into a lot of different texts talking about MDMA, MDMT, Messiah DMT, how the alchemy, the alchemic utilization of gold could result in some type of crazy euphoric thing, and then you have Moses coming down and seeing that they made the calf and then melting it down and then putting the gold in the water, telling them to get down and drink it, kind of like you would a drug addict, right? And you told them that they could live in your house, but to stop doing coke. And then you walked in the living room after you got off work, and he's done nothing. He's on the couch all day, and he's got a bag of coke right there after he told you that he'd stop. You throw the coke down on the ground, like, you know what? Just then, if you want the coke so bad, you'll have to get it off the ground. Just a theory, but the point is, the reason that seems to hold a lot of potential weight, alchemy, the two primary, the premier things within alchemy, right? What are the primary components that we have within alchemy? We have mercury and we have gold. And gold is valuable for many things, and it's its magnetic permeability, right? It can actually attain no loss. It has very conductive, as people would say, right? It's magnetic permeability, the ability for magnetism to permeate throughout it. That's why gold's so valuable. It seems like mercury may be even more efficient at that, certainly certain types of mercury. And they actually put thimerosal in numerous things that they put within you. And it seems like it would maybe make it more efficient to track the light until they can make it go out. But either way, so you have mercury, you have gold, magnetic permeability, and this is why these things are truly valuable, right? So it's basically all comes down to this. And this is just like the Hermetic principle. It's all about vibration. Everything's about vibration. It's been known for thousands of years. So there you go. There's what I had for you guys. I am pretty tired, though. It's 12:33 here, and I'm going to try to get up. And then maybe, I know I always want to do a stream in the morning. We'll see how it goes, because I do want to start maybe doing morning streams instead of having you guys have to stay up so late for the streams or be up so late. But we'll see how it works. I'm going to always at least do something. I'll see if I can get on a more consistent schedule for you guys. Man, those cops yesterday were terrible to you. Yeah, but it's all good. We're going back on the 6th. It's not a big deal. I want to watch that video again. I think the video is hilarious, personally. I don't know why. It's just his like exhale at the end that makes it so funny.
Keep doing what you're doing and see what happens. So that's a threat. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Are you mad we didn't go to the moon, bro?
Oh.
Go to the moon, bro.
Anyway, yeah, just don't back down from people, bro. It's all good. They singled out the people that were anti-abortion as well. Of course they did. And then we told them the true nature of the place that they live. But we're going to go back for Game 6. And then we'll be in Chicago for a few days. If you're in the area, you can hit us up. And we're going to go out into Chicago, which is just another city sunken in depravity. Of course, thinking about like the Canaanites building cities, maybe that should put into perspective what's wrong with cities, man. They've been wrong since the beginning. We were designed to be on the land, around nature, with its natural vibration and energy, and we're supposed to live within that harmonic balance off of the land. Grow your own food and eat it, and you probably get tons more energy, like literal energy, right? So anyway, we are in one of these other stupid little Babylonian cities, but we're gonna go out there. We're gonna speak the truth in Chicago and probably a few prominent places, and then we're gonna head back up for Game 6 because there's like probably 100,000 people there, and we're there is no coincidence that we've been following around all these places, not planning any of them. Like, oh, we're right here where they're shooting a shuttle off, or like doing a rocket launch, like right when we happen to be here. Then we just happen to be there right whenever. Then they put us on Portugal national news. Then I just happen to go the day that I get there to go chill with Dave. Bam, we end up on the front page of the Greenwich Times. Then bang, we're in Cherry Festival. We were going to Traverse City, didn't even know about Cherry Festival. Then we were just there. Then bang, I think that Yah showed me where I was supposed to go next through other people that were talking to us. Upper Peninsula, all of a sudden, last minute change of plans. We come up, pack back down to Milwaukee for the finals. Didn't plan any of that. And so he's in control, and I'm going to keep leading where he tells us to go. And that's about it. Thanks for bringing this. I talk about these things and get glossy eyes looking back. Yeah, that's how it goes, man, but it's all good, man. Not everyone has eyes to see or ears to hear. I went by the fountain like downtown or the Bean or some park like about where. I think I'm going to go by the Bean and tell everyone that it's, I bet you didn't know that it's 66 feet long and 33 feet high. Just a coincidence. The architect that built that, he built them all over the place with the crazy little graveler metrics. And that's where it gets real interesting when you look into, they told you that Jesus, who was supposedly born on December 25th, died when he was 33. You know, and then, of course, 9/11, Rockefeller on the front of the magazine with 9/11 on his watch, 33 years before 1968. Of course, that's the same year Israel printed their coin, where it's got the plane running into two buildings, but it's supposedly a scroll. 33 years before, 33, 33, 33, 32 degrees on the compass. 33 is the center. You get to the 32nd degree, got to be voted on to the 33. You have 33 vertebrae, on and on and on. So it's very interesting, but whatever. Is it really all frequencies, like what New Age agenda kind of is, or is the government just making us more stupid and have a short interest in things, more sex and materialist, etc.? Yeah, whenever you're sunken in depravity and you're obsessed with like fleshly things, material things, then your spiritual, I would say it's like a disproportionate relationship. And as you build the fleshly desire, or you cave into the fleshly desire, you satisfy the fleshly desire and the materialistic world and materialistic longings, then you have a disproportionate relationship with the spiritual. And so they think that they're special because they kept a secret little cheat code where they can get to all the depravity and the fleshly desires and the sexual promiscuity and depravity and degeneracy, right? And then wealth and all this manipulation of other people but they think as long as they show you and you decide to trick yourself, and that removes any repercussions from them according to natural law, and they don't have to adhere to the metaphysical law because I think they have cheat codes that they've passed down through their Gnostic texts. And that's why I do these creepy, morbid rituals and pedophilia and sex magic rituals and stuff, because they think that these are these cheat codes. And there's obviously some truth to their ability to manipulate these natural frequencies through the blood source, or the life source, the life force of everything, right? That is the blood. They're obsessed with rituals regarding the blood and innocence of people, and removing their frequency. So again, of course, obviously most of you guys know this, don't wake up after being recharged, so you can immediately have your battery drained by looking at frequencies of the television just hitting you with all kinds of negative frequencies. Be positive. Don't let them take your charge away. And it's no system that the little creepy psychopaths that work for the beast system that have pentagrams on, they come and charge you with things. So just relook at how much this is all around you and start to think carefully about it. And again, in conclusion, I think the most important thing is that if you realize that you live in cooperation and harmony with the Creator and the instructions He gave for us, then you will naturally have a very powerful electromagnetic aura, a literal aura, which is why they want us 6 feet apart, because then whenever people get together. So imagine how strong you could be if you built a huge community of people that were believers and Torah observant, that were living off the land, growing their own actual organic vegetables, eating that electric, organic, non-tainted thing that came from your own labor amongst each other, and then you were all fellowshipping close in proximity with, love and humility regarding following the Father and admiring the Father and worshiping the Father. You would be an incredibly powerful group of people, and we are being called to get together and network like this, for it will get very crazy in the future. So, and that's why all these major cities, again, goes back to like the Canaanites. You got all the cities, and they're built with tons of concrete, right? And it is no coincidence. Dun dun dun. That's why there's rubber in your shoes. So all the tricks that are in modern society have been engineered to remove your literal charge. So there's a conclusion. I love you guys. Yeah, like, oh yeah, we had a real connection. Yeah, you did. You guys had a connection. Oh, there was a spark. Come on, man. It's just, it's not for everyone. They don't understand. Facts, ground and drive. Yeah, exactly. Take your shoes off and walk on the earth some. I don't take my shoes off to walk through the cities on concrete. Definitely not my thing. Especially in these cities with stuff all over. But like if you can, as frequently as you can walk on the earth, definitely a positive. If you can get in water, certainly like even just like clean, fresh water, like a lake, or lakes are awesome, rivers are awesome, creeks are awesome, the ocean's awesome, right? Get into the water, get into the natural, you'll just circulate this energy. So there you go. It's a lot of power. So I guess what I'm saying is your spiritual obedience, it has a real physical manifestation, and don't let them take it away from you. So there you go. That's all I got for you guys. I love you guys. I'm just kind of tired, you know. So I gotta crash and recharge my battery, bro. Cause had some people hating on my beard today, and I was like, dude, all that makes me want to do is just keep growing it out. I don't know how in the world you think that's gonna stop me. It's just weird. Singular construct, light, visible light, electromagnetic radiation of a frequency perceivable to the eye. Interesting. The problem with using the word electromagnetic is it's so inaccurately defined nowadays. It's just such a headache, man. It's such a headache. But I like your beard. It looks nice. Thank you. Y'all bless, Austin. Thanks for all you do. No problem. Much love. Y'all bless back at you. What? The beard is... Way to go. Thank you, man. It's getting there. This is Let There Be Light. Gotcha. Even Yah speaks negatively against Babylonian cities in Isaiah 14:21. They will never rise up to possess a land or cover the earth with their cities. There you go. Oh, man. Kingdom of Context coming in, ladling some gravy. That's what I'm saying, man. The freaking cities, man. That's how they got everyone. Beard gang. Let there be beard. Yeah. All right. I love you guys. My eyelids are getting heavy, but thanks for kicking it. We had a couple hundred people chilling. That's pretty good for late night stream, late notice. So yeah, we'll be in Chicago for the next couple of days doing activism. Stay tuned. We're gonna get all the specifics with the 360 camera going live. It should be cool. So from now on, the activism in the streets, it might not be tomorrow. I think it should be tomorrow though. I had to get all kinds of things, spend all kinds of money. I'm out of personal money, you know, but I went ahead and spent it where we can get all this stuff documented really well. So after the live stream post, you'll be able to go around 360 and see everyone that was around, and that's super cool. And we have the omnidirectional mic with that. Bang bang. One thing that we do, we literally like drive around the city and we put the speaker up in the window. I get on the microphone and I'll just like tell everybody about you know, how they need to stay organic, etc. It's pretty hilarious. Like, just know there's tons of activism going on behind the scenes, even when it's not documented. But seek and speak truth unequivocally. The weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. So who cares what people think, right? Informed people don't care what ignorant people think. And just know that they will be handed over to their delusion in the end, for they had no love of the truth. And that's just how it is. And whenever they revile you for his name's sake, rejoice, for they did it to all the prophets before you. And in fact, that's a confirmation you're doing the right thing. If you want to support the tour, masqueradetour.com and $WitsitGetsIt on Cash App, and WitsitGetsIt at protonmail.com on PayPal. Thanks for all the support in advance. Thanks for all the support up to now. You guys are awesome. The only way this is possible. And I know the Father's gonna protect and provide for everything he wants us to do. I don't know if we have enough time to drop down to these different cities. I'll try to map it all out tomorrow and see how long we have, but we don't have too long before we have to get back to Milwaukee for the 20th for Game 6. And they might actually win the NBA championship there. It could be really epic. I know that Yah's in control of everything that he has us doing. So there you go. Thanks for kicking it. I love you guys. Let me find the outro here. And yeah, you've been charged. This is all meticulous. They're trying to attack you, man. Don't let them take power, man. Just get right with the Father. He loves you. Don't listen to men. You don't need religion. You don't have a religion with your Father. You have a relationship. He loves you. It's personable. We're all growing, right? Like some of us are further along understanding and applying the Torah than other people. Some people haven't fully come to the realization of exactly what that is. But if their heart's sincere and they're pure in intention, then they are following major parts of the Torah without even probably knowing it. There's no reason to pretend that we're better than other people because of this. We just need to grow together, to learn from each other, let iron sharpen iron, and then continue to humble ourselves and grow. It's more important than ever. We need to get together and network and live off of the earth and get away from the big major cities if at all possible. I feel like I'm speaking to myself with this part, but get a husband or wife and make children, make babies, be fruitful and multiply. And live in his will, and then he will keep us happy. I know a lot of people are like, I don't know if you should make babies now or not. Pray about that. I disagree. I think we are, but we're just supposed to live for him and he'll guide us. And if he doesn't want us to have them, then we wouldn't have them. So there you go. That's how that goes. I will catch up with you guys tomorrow. I love you guys. Peace out.
That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they sipping pills. Glorify suicide so they can get the deals. Big pharma set it up, had to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Took the way you saw the world, then distorted it. Now you think you wanna rock that twirl somewhere orbiting. Theories disproportionate, the truth distorted quick with a forceful grip. They forcing misinfo that we absorbing quick. Took the people's signature that mean extorted it. They forging it. If news ain't good informants who informing them, there's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, dollar that's supported with empty fortresses. But what's important is this: we courting ships, important gifts. Of course it is, what extortion is in accordance with an assortment list of foreign tricks. We ignoring which informant this, informant this. It looked like we were snoring tricked. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those insubordinate. Way to matrix engineer, that's unfortunate. Geopolitically, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they sip with pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder, is it real?